Hey Jeff, Brad here. I've got your Stargate board set all wrapped up, including the power supply and heatsink. I'll go over it with you real quick. So MPU, this is a Rev B MPU. Um, this is the ones typically have all the bodge wires on the outside where they had to invert the signal for the BS-BA line. What I do is remove that, and I'm able to do it at a much shorter distance on the back of the board. Also did an upgrade on one of the buffers here. On the Rev C and D and future boards, they put some pull-up resistors. There was a version of the B that had a little plug-in that went here, a little board, daughter board. So I provided that mod on the back. We took your old CR2032 battery holder off. The head jumper on the front, cleaned it all up, redid all this. And you have a CR2450, which has about 3 times the capacity, so it should last much longer than the 2032s. Clean the whole board. We've got all new electrolytic Nichicon filter caps here for the 3 voltages coming in. There's also a aluminum electrolytic axial lead here for the soft start. I put a tantalum in. I did put that had some Betson tags from previous repairs that were done. They're kind of nostalgic, I think. So I put those back on the MPU and ROM board they were on. We've got all new Molex headers with the square pins. Pulled the decoders and CPU, straightened legs, cleaned them, polished everything up. So the big thing on this was this had 4164 RAM in them, and every single one of them was bad. I noticed it had that RAM when I first took the before pictures. So on my bench early on, I put a little power adapter that I have here for the 4164s. So when I powered it, I got nothing. And when I pulled a couple of the chips and tested them, they were completely kaput. So at some point, these things were probably plugged into a regular harness where it saw the -5 and 12 volts. So not sure, but we've got brand new TIs in here, TMS 4116s. They're really good. We've got the ROM board here. It's got a brand new 3M ribbon cable and connector on it. New filter cap on the 5 volts. All new Molex headers. Again, cleaned up, polished, fully tested. IO widget board, also known as new ribbon, new filter cap, 2 new 10-pin Molex headers. I did remove the labels on this and reposition them, cleaned it up real nice. Rock solid. I tested all 18 inputs, works perfect. Back here on the soundboard, this soundboard, just as a note, all the serial numbers on these 3 boards match. The soundboard serial number didn't, and this board looks like it had seen a little bit of corrosion over the years, maybe whatever it was pulled out of originally. But we got it cleaned up, all new electrolytics on it, new bridge rectifier, pull the fuses and clean those and tighten up the holders for them. Had the wrong label or an old label for the EEPROM here, so I'd make some reproduction ones. So we got a new one on there. Went through, cleaned it all up, fully tested, working great. You also sent in the linear power supply, so I went through that. Again, this was a mess. It had wires soldered all over, and the headers were burned up on it, so we stripped it down completely, washed it in simple green, dried it, and then completely redid everything. So all the bridge rectifiers, I put one here with a big custom heat sink when I do these. Got all new Molex headers, all electrolytics. I put a 10-turn precision potentiometer on here to dial in the 5 volts. Typically, what I do is I put the meter at the MPU over there, like near the RAM, and adjust this until you get 4.98 or something, or real close to 5 volts. And the connector here on the coming off the heatsink with the 2 power transistors. What you've got here, this forward transistor is for the 5 volts. And the back one back here, this 2N3055 is for the 12 volts, the regulated. Put in new silicone isolators. These are really good at conducting the heat, but obviously not electrically conductive. Ran a new wire in this harness that was cut and tapped into. Put a new connector on, and we've got the Trifurcon Molex factory pins in here that touch on 3 sides, and these are the square connectors as well. So this thing, power supply, is like brand new. And we will boot it up. Again, I also put some green LEDs, I guess, while I boot it here. I've got a little remote control. I'll show you when I hit power on here. You can see those lights come on. And then we'll come back over here. Got this on a tripod. And as you can see, it boots right into the game. So that shows me the battery and the CMOS and all that's working great. I can take it and coin it up here. Got my little PlayStation controller. Put some credits on it, hit start. We'll blast through here. That was a hyperspace. You got like a 50-50 chance there. I'll just do some. I'll drop it in diagnostics. You can see the gameplay is fine. All ROM's okay. No RAM errors. CMOS is good. Sounds we can jump through. Switch test, I can do all of the switch tests here. Fire, thrust, hyperspace, reverse, Inviso, smart bomb. We'll go into the grid lines to set convergence. You got the red, green, blue screens. Then we have color bars, bookkeeping data, settings, and then back to a track mode. So it turned out real good. It has ran at least 24 hours on the bench. So I will get everything in anti-static bags and boxed up and coming back to you. As a side note, I do return all the old parts. So you can see here the giant bag of parts, all the ribbon cables and capacitors, all the 24 of the failed RAMs in there. So all the Molex headers. And even I buy the cap kits from Arcade Parts and Repair because they have access to, he has these large 18,000 microfarad axial caps custom made. So I like to support the community, so I just buy those instead of trying to source them myself. So he gives a nice diagram of the power supply and everything, so I include that as well. So we'll get her coming back to you.